I now know that when we do our events, there's two things that I want people to do. Well, there's more, but I want to give them numerous opportunities to overcome themselves. And I want to give them numerous opportunities to connect. Mm-hmm. And so when people come, Toby, to an event, the majority of those people, whether they're conscious of it or not, their brains and bodies are in the past.
Yes.
They live by certain familiar emotions, and certain thoughts that are connected to certain emotions condition their body to feel a certain way. Like you think about your I don't know, as an example, you think about your financial problems as an example, and people feel lack. Other people think about their ex and they feel resentment. Other people think about their new career and they feel fear. So they're combining a thought and a feeling, and when you have a thought in the form of a symbol, mm-hmm. and combined with a feeling, the conditioning process starts. So you keep thinking the same way, you keep making the same choices, you keep doing the same things, you keep creating the same experiences, you keep producing the same emotions. For the most part, your brain and body are in the past. Mm-hmm. So then the first couple days of an event are week-long events, and we've got thousands and thousands of brain scans, thousands and thousands of heart rate readings. And we now know that there is a formula, mm-hmm. that if you follow the formula, then you are going to slowly overcome yourself. So how do we overcome ourselves? Well, you got to take your attention off your body, which is where most people's attention are. You got to take your attention off the people in your life. The stronger the emotion that you have associated with some person, good or bad, the more you pay attention to them. So you got to take your attention off those people. You got to take your attention off your cell phone, your computer, the things you own, the place you sit, the place where you live, the place you work. And you got to get beyond time, thinking about the future or the familiar past. And that's what we call getting beyond the self. So we give people numerous opportunities to get beyond their past, present reality, mm-hmm. and their personality that's connected to the past. And we work with having them find the sweet spot of that present moment. Now, once they hit that sweet spot of the present moment, Toby, that's, according to the quantum model, where all possibilities exist. So when you're not your body, you're not the people in your life, the things you own, the place you live, the place you work, or time itself, you take away all those things, the only thing you're left with is consciousness. You're an awareness. So you reached an elegant moment where you dissociated from your identity. And in 1 second, you were in a field of possibilities, and your brain downloaded a probable future, and the vision was so real, and it had a strong electrical signal that went along with it, and you could not pay attention to it. So the stronger you felt that signal, the more you were seeing that future, and all of a sudden your brain and body move out of your past present reality. And in that moment, you're living in the future, in the present moment, and you're rewiring your brain, and you're sending a new electrochemical signature to your body. And your body is believing it's living in that future. You're changing your gene expression. You're changing your protein expression. You're changing the way your brain thinks, the way it feels. And all of a sudden, you know what your future looks like. Now, we want everybody to have that experience, because you could be sick, you could be overweight, you could be vegetarian, you could be white, you could be black, you could be Asian, you could be rich, you could be poor. You could never have meditated before. In fact, our research shows people like you that never meditated before are
virgins.
You're not trying to make anything happen. You're just curious to see what's going to happen, and that's the beauty behind that. So you had a moment where you downloaded information from the field and you saw future, and you now know that that's your future. This is relatively new technology. What we're doing is we're piercing a veneer. It's like the 4-minute mile. Mm-hmm. Once the 4-minute mile was broken, mm-hmm. by one person, then all of a sudden everybody started doing it. So we're breaking this consciousness, this level of consciousness that we need something outside of us to change how we feel inside of us. And we're teaching people how to self-regulate without anything outside of them. So we are working, we do seminars for children. We do seminars for companies and organizations. We do seminars for athletes, and all of it is the same, but we're just teaching it with a little different slant to fit into child's development, to fit in with a sports athlete. But we're at a point now where the technology is reproducible, and that's what I care about the most, because anything that's reproducible, if you follow that formula, is science, and we now know that it's working. So now we got a lot of momentum, and people are breaking through. And I want to say something about certain people that didn't have the experience. They probably had it the next day, or the next day, or when they got home and they fell asleep on the couch. It always comes because we're always creating reality. When you combine a thought and a feeling, you produce an electromagnetic field. Mm-hmm. So I always say thought is the electrical charge and feelings are the magnetic charge. And how we think and feel broadcasts an electromagnetic signature. So is it possible then that when they do that, they're able to influence three-dimensional reality? Now, why is that significant for you and I? Because if you apply that to a future that you're creating, then if you're creating from the field, and not from matter, not as your body, not as your personality, not as things, but as an awareness in the field, then it's entirely possible then that you don't have to go anywhere to get what you need. Like go get your money, go get your new job, go get your new relationship, go get your health. That's matter to matter, and it takes time to do that. But when we can create a coherent brain, and our research shows that our students can, and a coherent heart, and our students are very good at that, then you're admitting a very organized, coherent field. And if you're creating from the field, and the field creates matter, then you will draw your reality to you. You don't have to go anywhere. You start having synchronicities, opportunities, synchronicities. And the moment you start seeing your reality unfolding equal to your energy, you're going to believe you're more of the creator of your reality and less of a victim of your reality. And you're going to do it again. Right. And you're going to do it again. And you're going to do it again. And it's going to become a skill. Most people, look, in this three-dimensional reality that's made of matter, the world of materialism that we define with our senses, we experience separation. There's you there and there's me here. And there's space between us. And there's space between us. There's time between us. And so then that people have their sense of self, and then they have a sense of their vision, their dream. And where do we create our dream? Way out there. Right. So then we're separate from our dream. Our brain automatically creates a future. So we have to go get that future, right? So then people spend the majority of their lives living in lack, waiting for the event to happen to take away their emptiness or their lack. That's Newtonian physics. That's cause and effect. Waiting for something out there to make this feeling go away. And if you're living by the feeling of lack, you're creating more lack because that feeling is driving certain thoughts. So what we teach people to do is how to open this beautiful center called your heart. Because when you start elevating your emotional state, and you can really make this a practice, your body begins to emit a very coherent magnetic field that's up to 3 meters wide. And now that's an energy, and that energy is a frequency, and that frequency can carry information. It can carry the thought of your health. It can carry the thought of your wealth. Suffering can't carry the thought of your wealth. It just doesn't align with the frequency. Right. So then teaching people how to make that a habit and broadcast that signature while their eyes are open, while they're in a business meeting, while they're in traffic, while they're waiting at the bank, while they're brushing their teeth. It's just a natural energy that they wear. Then it starts becoming very common. Yeah. So that if you're feeling the emotion of gratitude that's connected to your future before it's happened, then you're not looking for it any longer because you feel like it's already happened. So now that then begins to create the magic. And I want you to be able to stay in that state.